So let me talk about this person here. I see the two of you looking at each other. Okay. I feel like, and this is where I don't know which one you are. Okay. So the energy, once again, can be vice versa. Pick whatever side you resonate with as a representation of your energy. So this is the couple. Okay. And this is the couple where I feel like, you thought it was fate. You thought it was like, wow, what are the odds that we constantly run into each other? We constantly know the same people. It just happens that your social circle might also dictate who you run into, who you connect with. And so what seems like fate is in fact just like a numbers game, the lottery regarding the social circle and the networks that you are involved in. So what we have here is this Temperance card as well as the Eight of Crystals, okay? This is one person. This person is very colorful. This person is like, the wild animal, the zebra, blend into their environment. Zebras have the stripes so that they can blend into their environment, okay? So this is someone who's kind of like a social chameleon, who likes to be with the herd, who likes to kind of like live life a little bit vicariously, who wants a little bit more passion, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of fun, and a little bit of adventure in the relationship that they're in. For some of you, this could be you, where you want to travel, you want to see the world, you don't want to live in one sedentary place, you want to change location, you want more out of your life, okay? And then I'm seeing the other person is the Eight of Pentacles, the buffalo or the bison, okay? And this is someone who's very like stuck to the ground, okay? The way this animal is, it's very heavy, it's very anchored, and it's very grounded, okay? Just look at it. It has like fear, sheer brute force and strength, okay? This is somebody who's like, their existence is very quiet. Okay, so they're not like they're not going to go to the grocery store all decked up with their nails done and their hair done and their makeup done just to go to the grocery store. They're going to go to the gym in like a torn t-shirt and old shorts and not care because they're just working out and they don't care. And this is also somebody I feel like the way they live their life is very admirable is what I'm sensing. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of, they have financial resources, but they never flaunt it. They never talk about how much they have. They never, care about the nice cars, the big engagement rings, the designer handbags, getting their nails done, getting their hair done, having like the expensive, watch or even the designer suit. So they could be male or female. The bottom line is they're very down to earth. They don't like to flaunt. They don't like to be flashy. The way they live their life is it's a very quiet existence. They're content with everything that is in their life. And I feel in a way that the other person might regard this person as lacking in spontaneity, lacking in excitement. So somebody here is thinking like this relationship might be a little bit dull, might be a little bit boring. This person is not very spontaneous. This person is not very exciting to be around. Okay, so I feel like one person is really wanting travel, adventure, excitement, newness, and the other person could be a little bit more of a homebody. They could be content with very, very little. So I feel like there is a conflict of interest here when it comes to how the two of you like to be entertained, how the two of you want to explore life, how the two of you can find, emotional fulfillment with the things that you do. I also feel like there is a opposition when it comes to what one person likes to do recreationally and what the other person likes to do. One person is very like down to earth, very tried and true. And then the other person is like, the spectrum of the rainbow, wanting new things. And so in this relationship, I'm sensing here, there's dissonance, okay? It's like not being on the same page, not really jiving with one another anymore, talking and living life in different on different wavelengths, no longer crossing paths or no longer feeling like you are in alignment with one another. For some of you, what could have started out as like a very passionate affair could have now settled into a very comfortable relationship. We have here the Two of Cups, okay? This is like a comfortable relationship where two people are comfortable with one another. This is also like the nesting instinct is what I'm hearing, where the two of you might have, moved in together, might have been really comfortable with each other, might have gotten married, might have had several kids. And so the spark might not be as strong in this relationship as it was in the past. And then I'm also feeling as well, for some of you, regardless of whether or not you are single or in a relationship, I feel that you are drawn to a person, very, very drawn to a person that is like your friends, your family, and the people that know you, like your best friends, would say, wait a minute, that person is completely not your type. Okay? So I feel like your tastes when it comes to partnerships and relationships are changing. You're attracted to somebody that in the past might have slipped under your radar, but now I feel like you're specifically drawn to this type and you find this type very magnetic, and I feel like they're very different from you. And so I feel like you guys are that woman at the coffee shop. Her significant other is talking to her, but she's like checked out. Either checked out of that conversation, checked out of that relationship, checked out of that connection, and wishing for something a little bit more. Okay, she's drawn to the artist in the background. He's sitting with his back to her, so she's not really seeing his face, but she's admiring his talent. She's admiring the way that his mind works, where he can, conjure up beautiful pieces of art. And so I feel like you might be drawn to somebody with artistic capabilities who can make magic and who can make something amazing out of nothing. Okay, the Conjuring. And the card associated with this here is, we have here the Page of Wands. Okay, this is like the multitasker. And this is like, the cogs in the machine are all turning, right? This is someone who's borderline genius. Okay, the way their mind works, they can like juggle, like have many, many, many things in the works, and they never drop the ball. This is somebody whose mind is like racing a mile a minute. They come up with new inventive ideas. They're constantly keeping busy. They're constantly on the go. They're constantly like churning out new things. And I also feel like with this energy, they're very exciting, very, it's almost like their world is very colorful and very childlike, very innocent and very playful and very exploratory. And so when you're with this person or when you're looking at this person, I feel that you're looking at them. When you're looking at this person, I feel like for many of you, you wonder not so much why, but how they could, how they could live their life the way that they live their life. How their minds can churn out a million masterpieces or ideas in such a short amount of time. How they could be so smart, how they could get so much inspiration, how they have the time to do everything, how they're always, working on one thing after another. So I feel like you are enthralled and very taken in by this person. And I feel like their energy is really, it's really fascinating, because I feel like this is someone who's very creative. It's like a mad genius, a mad scientist. It's somebody who works with a lot of things. They could like work with their hands. They could have like, have a main job and a side job. They're juggling many, many things, and they never skip a beat. They never drop the ball. They never fumble. And yet everything in their life is kind of like a well-oiled machine. Everything is going really well in their life. And you're looking at this person and you're wondering, like, how do they do it? How do they do all of this? How do they find the time? And I feel like this is somebody who's really capturing your attention. And this is somebody that you are heavily looking at and wondering, I feel many of you might be admiring this person from afar. I feel that for many of you, this might be like harboring like a secret crush. I also feel for many of you, you really like this person. You're constantly checking around to see where they are. I literally just saw like some of you who are in school, like in universities, in law school, in med school, in grad school, whatever schooling you are in. Maybe you're watching this and you're in high school. I feel that you're checking around, when there is class, when there are meetings, when there's recess, when there is even like breaks, you're trying to see where this person is. You're looking around, scanning the crowd, trying to, get a glimpse of this person. So I feel that it is the beginning of a very, very big crush that we're harboring for another person here. So that's what I'm sensing. And I do feel a little bit that some of you might be in a relationship and you're trying to figure out a way out of it. I feel that you are not emotionally fulfilled in that relationship, and you're thinking about shifting and going out into the world to find someone who's a better fit for you. And it has nothing to do with, how you feel about the existing relationship. I just feel, or the existing, or the previous person. It has more to do with the fact that you might have outgrown a relationship. And it might be attributed to the fact that, you might have met this person when you were really young, fell madly in love, thought it was the one. But then, life circumstances, we, go through different phases in our lives. And we just drift apart and we grow further and further apart. So I feel like it's through no fault of your own. It's also not their fault. It's just the two of you have kind of like reached the end of a relationship. And I do feel for many of you, this was like somebody that you met when you were very young, and the passion and the chemistry was like off the charts. But as the two of you settle down and get into a relationship and have this quiet existence, you might want more out of life, out of your relationship, and they might not. They're comfortable and they're not really trying as hard, okay? And so I feel like only you can decide whether or not it is worth staying in, okay? Because I feel like for some of you, it's comfortable and the person's a really good person. And so you might opt to stay in, ride it out, get through the rough patches, re-inject passion in the relationship. But for others of you, I feel that the partner is quite stubborn. The partner is not really going out of their way to accommodate you. You might want to travel. You might want to see the world. You might want to have a little bit more fun. And every time you ask the partner, like, hey, let's plan date night. Let's meet up with my friends. Let's go here. Let's go there. I feel like they're a little bit like a stick in the mud, and they like their own company. They like their own space, and they might not be very social. And so I feel that you're looking at them and you might want out of this relationship, because you might not feel like they're investing in the relationship, or they're trying their best to maintain the relationship with you. And so you feel like your life might be more colorful elsewhere, okay? So that's what I'm sensing here. So let's talk about your voyage, okay? Because I feel like this zigzag might explain that. So there's a new person coming in that is really capturing your imagination. And some of you might feel like this person is a soulmate, is a kindred spirit, is kind of like a lost soul, a connection that you highly, highly respect and highly value. And I also feel that you feel the warmth, a lot of warmth and a lot of passion and inspiration coming from this person. And we have as well the Ace of Wands. Okay, so this is like really strong, very, very strong chemistry that you have towards another person. And when I see this card, this is all about like the raw instinct, okay? Like the animal instinct, okay? Thinking like this. It's like fight or flight survival mode. And it's just like the raw passion in a relationship or between two people. And it is really strong. So I feel like not only is there like a very strong soul connection, but there is also immense passion and chemistry that you feel for another person, and they vice versa feel for you. Um, I'm feeling very strong Aries energy, okay? And Aries is your polar opposite. So whenever polar opposites connect to, there's a lot of strong passion, a lot of strong chemistry, like it is through the roof. It can be sliced with a knife. Everyone in the room will feel it. And so it's not just you, the other person is feeling it too, because I feel like, the energy is reciprocated here. And a lot of the times too, when we are dating a polar opposite sign, or there can also, it's a great passion and great chemistry, but it can bring a lot of incompatibilities to the surface. Okay. So if we're ever dating like an opposite sign, it is very important that we take the relationship very slowly and look at the relationship objectively rather than through blinders, because the passion can cloud our judgment. Okay, make sure that there's a lot more compatibility, or make sure at least, if you don't agree on certain things, at least you don't have innate like ideological differences where the relationship will not work. So for example, one person might want an open relationship. Another person wants a monogamous relationship. How is that going to work, right? And then, for example, one person might want to settle down, have children, and the other person wants to travel the world. How is that going to happen? How is a relationship going to form? So it doesn't mean that it can't work. It just means you need to take things slowly, get to really know this person before you start planning a life together. Does that make sense? So I feel like you guys are sensible enough. But I feel like the connection here is very strong and is very desire based. And that's why I would urge you to try to look at this objectively, so that you're not swept off your feet. Okay. So I definitely feel here one connection is like on the rocks. It's hurting. It's drying up. It's shriveling. And I feel that you are wanting to move away. Okay, Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is, the way I look at it, it's like, it's a woman who has been traditionally, she's been very, very hurt in the past. Okay, so I usually look at this card as somebody who's been through their fair share of emotional disappointments, okay? Like a series of emotional disappointments. And as a result of it, this person is very steely. They're a little bit icy, and they don't trust people easily. It's hard for them to open up to new love. And it's also very hard for them to express themselves emotionally, okay? I feel like there was a relationship here in your past where you didn't feel emotionally fulfilled. I also feel like you've told the other person many times, I like it when you do this, and I don't like it when you do that. But for whatever reason, you're very straightforward with them, and you're very clear about what you like and what you don't like. But for whatever reason, it's fallen on deaf ears. Like, you might tell them, I like roses, I like lilies, I like cherry blossoms. And yet, event like holidays and major milestones go by and they never get you those things. Okay, it's as simple as someone not listening. And then I also feel like this person is like For example, for your birthday, you wanted to go out. And you're like, I want to go out with my friends. I want to be, you know, with the company of others, and I want to go dancing. And this person is just like, oh, you go ahead. You go and, you know, hang out with your friends on your birthday. I don't want to go dancing. I don't want to, you know, be along, or be amongst like a big crowd, but you go ahead. It's your birthday. You go ahead. But that's not the point. The point is you wanted them to share this experience with you. And for whatever reason, I feel like they might be a little bit insensitive, okay, in your eyes. But then I'm also feeling in their defense, it's like maybe birthdays mean a lot to you, but it might not mean a lot to them. And so that's why they just want you to have fun. And so if they're coming along and not having fun, they don't want you to worry about them. And so that's why they'd rather excuse themselves and remove themselves from the picture. That way you can be with your friends and do the things that you like on your birthday. So I definitely feel like this person, the way their mind works is very, very practical. Whereas your expectations and the things that you want might be a little bit more like, I just want you to share this moment with me. But rather than saying, I just want you to share this moment with me, I feel like it's hard for you to say that. And then I also feel like there is a lot of like emotional stifling, or I'm sorry, emotional suppression, not knowing how to express ourselves emotionally, not knowing how to ask for what we want. It could be from you or from the other person, not knowing how to tell the other person to give us what we want. But either way, I feel that some of you might have already cut off this connection and you're looking for love elsewhere. For others of you, you might still be in this connection where you're not feeling that emotional nourishment and you're contemplating cutting off the connection, okay?